Hello student, myself Professor Jyoti Anil Mahatme from Computer Science Department of KTHM College, Nasik. From this lecture in today's lecture we will discuss about the subject Introduction to Cyber Security or Information Security, which will be conducted for the post-graduation students of first year. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the first module topics. The first module is prerequisites in information and network security, and chapter name is overview of networking concept. In first lecture of first chapter, we will see about the basic concept related with communication system, in which we'll discuss about the definition of computer network, definition of telecommunication, and some of the components used in computer network. Now, in today's lecture, we'll discuss the next topic from first chapter. The topics are transmission media, topology used to create a computer network, and the types of network depending on size. The learning objective of today's lecture is to study the different types of transmission media that is used to carry the data from sender to receiver. After that, we will study about the different types of topology used to create a network. Topology is nothing but the structure that is used to connect the different type of devices on network. And after that, we will study about the different types of network depending on the size of that network. The first is types of transmission media. In the first lecture of same subject, we'll see that there are different components of computer network that are sender, receiver, transmission media, the message, and protocol. Out of that, the transmission media is very important because with transmission media, the data is transmitted from one point on network to another point. So we can say that the transmission media is the main component is responsible to carry the data from one point to another or from sender to receiver. The transmission media has different types of properties depending on which can choose anyone. Like the properties can be speed, the cost of installation, and the security provided by that transmission media. Depending on that, the transmission media mainly divided into two parts. The first part is wired media, also known as bounded media or guided media, and the second one is wireless, also known as unguided media or unbounded media. As the name indicates, wired media is the actual physical path is present between sender and receiver. Or we can say that the wired media or bounded media is a transmission media which actually has the confined path or dedicated path between sender and receiver. Whereas in wireless media, there is a no actual physical path is present between sender and receiver. Instead of actual physical path, the electromagnetic waves are used to carry the signal from sender to receiver. Then wired media can be divided into three types. The first one is twisted pair, second one coaxial cable, and the third one is optical fiber cable. Same way, the wireless media can be divided into three parts. First one radio waves, second one microwave, and third one is infrared waves. The first one is twisted pair cable. As its name indicates, it contains the two copper wire which are 1 millimeter thick. These two copper wire are twisted together and it acts as a conductor. Each copper wire are insulating using a plastic sheath. The twisted pair cable or twisted pair. It is in this the number of twist is responsible for the reducing the electromagnetic interference due to surrounding material. Twisted pair is distance limited, means if the distance increases, automatically attenuation increases, and if the attenuation increases, automatically the quality related with signal transmission will be decreases. Hence we can say that the twisted pair cable is depend on distance. Particularly, there are different ways using which that twisted pair can be combined. We can combine 4 pair in one cable, 2 pair in one cable, or 8 pair in one cable according to requirement of user. Basically, the 4 pair of copper wire bundled together to create a one single twisted pair cable. As we already discussed that the twisted pair cable is the distance limited, means the data rate of twisted pair cable is depend on the distance traveled by the signal on twisted pair. The relation between data rate and the distance is that the data rate is inversely proportional to square of line length. Means if the distance between sender and receiver with twisted pair cable is increases, automatically the data rate or speed of signal will be decreases due to attenuation created during the transmission. Twisted pair cable can be divided into two types. The first one is unshielded twisted pair and the second one is shielded twisted pair. The second type of wired media are coaxial cable. As its name indicates, it contains the two conductor. The inner conductor is made from the copper wire, is a standard one. That inner conductor or center core is surrounded by the PVC, also known as dielectric insulator, which is enclosed by the outer conductor of metal foil, braid, or both. After that, again there is a outer conductor, that is metallic shield, which is again made from the copper, encased again uh, conducted or again insulated by the metal foil, braid, or both. And this whole structure is enclosed by the plastic jacket to uh, for the protection from outside environmental factors. The coaxial cable carries the higher frequency range as compared to twisted pair cable. Hence, can use the coaxial cable for more distance as compared to twisted pair cable. The coaxial cable connector can be BNC connector and TNC connector. BNC connector means bayonet nail concealment, whereas TNC is a threaded version of bayonet nail concealment connector. Coaxial cable can be used to carry the both analog as well as digital data from sender to receiver. Bandwidth of coaxial cable is high as compared to twisted pair cable, and hence due to this high bandwidth can used for the long distance telephone lines. Coaxial cable are of two types. First one is baseband cable and the second one is broadband cable. The baseband cable is the 15 ohm coaxial cable which are used to carry the digital data from one point to another point. It transmits the single signal with very high frequency. But the drawback of this baseband cable is that it requires the regenerator or repeater after every 1000 feet. The second type of coaxial cable is broadband cable, which is used for the analog signal transmitted over the transmission media. One of the best example of broadband signal is the cable TV, in which one wire can contains the different frequency ranges and each frequency is responsible for different channel. Then the next type of wired media is optical fiber cable. As its name indicates, it is use the light for the transmission of data. In this, the core is surrounded by the cladding material. The cladding material density is different compared to core material because in this the reflection will be huge. So we can say that the optical fiber cable is the media in which the light will be passed from sender to receiver, and through that light reflection properties the data will be transmitted. The cladding used in optical fiber cable has the less dense density compared to core material, which is responsible for the reflection of light beam. Optical fiber cable that we already discussed is composed of glass or plastic, and it transmits the signal in the form of light. It uses the reflection of light properties, transmits the data. Same way as coaxial cable, there are different types of connector that will be used for optical fiber cable, and that connectors are SC connector, that is subscriber channel, then ST connector, straight tip connector, and the most one is MTRJ, which is similar of RJ45. Then as compared to twisted pair and coaxial cable, the optical fiber cable has the higher data rate as well as higher bandwidth, and hence it can be used over the long distances. Then the second type of media is wireless media, also known as unbounded media or unguided media. It is known as unbounded media or unguided media because there is a no actual physical path is present between sender and receiver. Instead of actual physical link, the electromagnetic waves are used to carry the signal from sender to receiver. That signal, electromagnetic signal, will be freed in space, and any device which is capable of accepting that signal act as a receiver uh, of that message. Then wireless media are ranges from the electromagnetic waves from 1 kilohertz to 900 terahertz that are divided into three parts again. The first one is radio waves, the second one is microwave, and the third one is infrared waves. Radio waves is range from 3 kilohertz to 1 gigahertz, and it is a unidirectional. The second one is the microwave, is range from 1 terahertz to 300 sorry 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz, and which is omnidirectional. And the third one is the microwave, is range from 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. Out of these three, the microwave cannot penetrate the walls. The one of the best example of microwave is remote control used for the TV. After discussing about the transmission media, we will see about the network topology. Topology means how the different devices on a network can be connected with each other to create a particular structure. There are different types of properties or different types of ways how all the network devices will be connected with each other. Depending on that, there are some types of topology like bus topology, star topology, ring topology, mesh topology, tree topology, and hybrid topology. We'll see all these one by one. Choosing one of the topology from all these is depend on the requirement of user. Means what will be the cost of installation of topology, which application software will be used that will be run on topology created structure, or what will be the requirement of organization. Depend on that, one topology will be selected, or we can use multiple topology with single structure. So the first one is bus topology. As the diagram indicate, all the component on network are connected to single backbone. That single backbone act as a transmission media which carry the signal from one point to another point. To connect the communication devices for that common backbone, the connecting line with taps will be used. That connecting lines are also known as a drop line. So drop line is a connecting media which connect the communication device to common backbone. The bus topology is multi-point that we already see in the diagram. All devices are connected to single backbone at different point. So the bus topology is multi-point. Here one long cable act as a central backbone which is used to link the all devices on a network. There are some of the advantage of bus topology, like it is easy to install, because when you want to add some devices on a network, you just want to add that devices with common backbone. So all. It required less cabling compared to mesh and star topology. Disadvantage is difficult reconnection and fault isolation. If the single backbone cable fails, then the entire network will be fails. When the data will be transmitted with bus topology, then the some signal will be refracted in the form of heat. Hence, when that information will be transmitted in bus topology, the signal get weaker and weaker when the distance will be increased. Then the second type is mesh topology, in which all devices are connected with each other using dedicated point-to-point link. Dedicated point-to-point link means the traffic between that two devices is carried only by one that single link. Here, every devices has dedicated point-to-point link to every other devices. Hence, if the number of devices increase, automatically the number of link or number of communication media are also increased. If n is the number of communication devices on network and we want to connect all that devices with each other using communication links, then according to Reed's law, there are n into n minus 1 divided by 2 total number of links will be used. There are some of the advantage and disadvantage also. The advantage is that each connection can carry its own data load, because there is a dedicated point-to-point link between every devices on a network. So each link carry its own data load. Then it provides more privacy and security as compared to other topology. The disadvantage, the amount of cabling will be increased with increase in the number of devices. That we already discussed. If the n is the number of devices, then n into n minus 1 will be the number of communication links. So if we increase the number of devices, automatically the number of links used, and if the number of links will be used, automatically the cost related with that link will be increased. Then installation and reconnections are difficult. The next one is ring topology. The structure of ring topology is like the ring in which every devices are connected with its two neighborhood devices only. So in this, the point-to-point dedicated link will be used to carry the traffic load between only that two devices. In ring topology, the token passing concept will be the device which has token. Only that device are allowed to transmit the data on that ring topology network. The flow of information is in only one direction. So here in ring topology, each device has dedicated point-to-point link with its two neighborhood devices only on of either side. Advantage, it is easy to install and reconfigure. If you want to add the one devices on a network, then we only want to search the two neighborhood devices and that new device will be inserted between that two neighborhood devices. Also, if you want to remove the single device from that ring topology, then we directly remove and neighborhood devices will be connected with each other. Fault isolation is simplified. Disadvantage is unidirectional traffic because the data flow is only in one direction and the device which has a token is only allowed to transmit the data. Then the break in the ring can disable the entire network. Means if the ring will be break, then the entire network will be collapse. Next one is star topology. It uses the client server architecture in which the central device act as a server and the all devices are connected with that central hub act as a client. When data will be transmitted from one point to another point, that data is always goes from the central hub. Here, each device has a dedicated point-to-point link only to the central controller. That central controller are also known as the hub. These devices are not directly linked with each other. So for transmission purpose, every message that will be transmitted always goes from the central hub. Advantage is less expensive because if you want to add the new devices, then that device is directly add with the central hub. So only one link will be used to add. Then it is easy to install and configure. Disadvantage, dependency on one single point means if the central hub is collapsed, then automatically the whole network will be collapsed. So the responsibility of star topology network is totally depend on the central hub. Then each node must be linked to the central hub to become the part of network. Next is hybrid topology. As the diagram indicate, the hybrid topology is a combination of star, bus topology, etc. In hybrid topology, the more than one topology can be combined to create a network. You know that every organization can have different structure. In that organization, some department want star topology network, some department want ring topology network, and after that we want to connect all that department into the single network. In such cases, the hybrid topology structure will be. Hybrid topology is a type of network that uses two or more different types of network topology that we already see in the diagram. There are some of the advantage like hybrid topology is reliable because it combines the different types of topology. So it combines the different advantage of topology into the single one. It is effective, flexible, and also scalable. The disadvantage is more complex compared to other one because it combines the different type of topology single one, and it is expensive since there are different type of topology, so the number of links will be also increased. Next is tree, also known as a hierarchical topology. Basically, hierarchical topology is the extension of star topology in which more than two star will be used to create a single network, or that star with bus topology will be a single network. So we can say that the tree topology is a combination of star or bus topology, or is the combination of two different star topology. Advantage, it is scalable means if you want to add the devices in tree topology, then you can add the two different star into single bus topology. Then it is easier maintenance and fault finding. Disadvantage, it requires the huge cabling compared to other one because in this the two star or bus with star will be combined into single one. Then the backbone or central hub forms the point of failure. Means if the central hub will be collapsed, then the entire network will be collapsed. Or if the bus that is connected is collapsed, then automatically the whole network will be failed. Then the next topic is network type. Depending on different criteria, the network will be divided. Depending on the size, the network can be divided into local area network, metropolitan area network, and wide area network. As its name indicates, local area network size is less compared to metropolitan area network, whereas metropolitan area network size is less compared to wide area network. The local area network is a group of computers connected with each other in small places such as school, hospital, apartment, or the single campus. The maximum size of local area network can be up to 1 meter. All the devices on that campus are connected with each other to form the local area network. There are some advantage. The LAN is secure because the area is limited, so the more security can be provided with limited area. Then network propagation delay is short in LAN because the all devices are close to each other or the distance between the devices are very small. Hence, the network propagation delay is also small compared to other one, and it is fast because the speed is large. Disadvantage, it is used with only small geographical area, that is up to 1 kilometer, and the limited computers are connected because if the area is limited, so automatically the number of devices are also limited. Second one, metropolitan area network. As we already discussed, the size of metropolitan area network is large compared to local area network but less as compared to wide area network. It can covers the area of single. Advantage, it is moderate propagation delay compared to LAN and WAN. The WAN ownership can be private or public depending on the types of network will be, and it offers the centralized management of data. Disadvantage, the cost is high since the area will be increased and the speed is. The last one is WAN, that is wide area network, which has the larger area compared to LAN and WAN. It can span the large geographical area like one single country, one single continent. One of the best example of WAN is the internet, in which all the devices all over the world are connected with each other using a single network. Compared to LAN and MAN, it covers the large geographical area. It shares the software and resource with connection workstation. An expensive thing shared by all computer on a network will be possible with the help of WAN. Disadvantage, since the geographical area will be used, number of devices will be used, distance between devices will be used, it becomes the expensive because the cost of software and cost of hardware will be increased. Then it is slow in speed since the distance is increased and the setting of network can be time consuming. So, in this lecture, we will study about the type of transmission media that may be wired or wireless. Then, after that, we will discuss the types of topology and the types of network depend on size. In next lecture, we will see about the TCP/IP protocol stack. After that, we will discuss about the wireless network and the internet concept.